You know that feeling. Your heart rate kind of drops, everything goes quiet, and then boom, you check your phone. No signal. Nope, not the start of a horror film. Chances are you're somewhere in Himachal Pradesh. India's, well, let's call it the mountain meditation zone. But hang on, this isn't going to be your standard tourist guide, no checklists of resorts here. We're doing a deep dive into the real Himachal. You know, the one where monks are chanting under actual glaciers? Villages seem to just melt into the fog, and the roads. Oh, the roads. They can be life-changing, or at least back pain-inducing. We're talking ghost temples, tracks that'll chill your bones, maybe some butter chai philosophy. And yeah, apparently there's a British ghost hanging out in a library somewhere.
Exactly. And our goal today, really, is to peel back those layers for you. Go beyond just the pretty pictures. We want to explore where, gods and glaciers feel like they're part of the same reality, where communities are fighting to keep their identity. And crucially, how this place, this landscape, genuinely transforms people who spend time there. It's more than a holiday. It's profound. Where gods and glaciers meet, the sacred heart of Himachal.
Okay, so let's start there. You really can't talk about Himachal without getting into its sacred vibe. They call it Dev Bhumi, land of the gods. And it's not just some catchy slogan, right? It feels woven into the fabric of the place.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating here is how deeply integrated the divine is into daily life. It's not just Sundays or festivals. I mean, every valley seems to have its own deity, its own protector almost. Take Kulu, for instance. During Dussehra, you have these incredible processions where the gods, carried on palanquins, parade with full brass bands. And it gets even more interesting. In some villages, local deities actually settle disputes, like legal matters.
Wow, okay. Deities settling legal disputes. That's something else. And speaking of things that kind of defy normal logic, well, if gods walk there, the roads certainly make you feel humble. Let's talk Spiti Valley. People say it's like Mars. Maybe Mars with more oxygen. And crucial butter tea.
Right. It's stark.
Yeah.
Beautiful, but stark.
Yeah. And you might see a snow leopard or maybe find a monastery where monks haven't spoken in decades. The roads themselves are, well, terrifying is a fair word.
Yeah.
Just clinging to cliff sides. But then you get somewhere like Key Monastery and this quiet just hits you. It's a silence that feels, I don't know, louder than sound itself.
And that quiet, that harsh environment, it fosters this incredible spiritual dedication. You mentioned monks. Think about the 500-year-old monk mummy they found there, preserved, still sitting upright.
Right. The mummy, how does that even happen?
Well, it points to practices like sakushimbutsu, a form of self-mummification. It's this almost unbelievable level of ascetic discipline over years and years. It really makes you think, what kind of spiritual conviction, what dedication lies behind something like that? It's mind-boggling.
Truly. Okay, so from that intense ancient landscape of Spiti, let's shift gears a bit. McLeodganj, Little Tibet. Picture this. You're sipping coffee, maybe at a German bakery. Yes, really, and you overhear monks next to you discussing reincarnation, possibly in English.
That's McLeodganj.
It's the home base for the Tibetan government in exile, right?
Yeah.
You can attend teachings by the Dalai Lama, plus yoga centers, those German bakeries I mentioned, really intense spiritual retreats. It's a whole mix.
Yeah, and I think connecting this to the bigger picture, McLeodganj isn't just a place on a map. It's a living example of cultural resilience. It's a sanctuary, really. A spiritual and cultural heart recreated against all odds. It shows how traditions can stay vibrant even when displaced. Lost echoes and raw wilderness, the challenging side of Himachal.
Okay, so we've seen the sacred, the serene, but Himachal has another side too, doesn't it? Places that feel like they're fading a bit, fighting to be remembered, like parts of Chamba.
Yeah.
Beautiful, absolutely stunning, but also kind of vanishing.
Vanishing is a strong word, but there's definitely a sense of shift.
Yeah, you see the signs. Younger people leaving for cities, houses empty, sometimes even old temples feeling a bit lonely, fewer people lighting the lamps. There's this quiet. It feels heavy sometimes. Locals might even tell you stories like about a deity that weeps at dusk in one temple. Probably just the wind, but that feeling of loneliness, it's real.
That image, the weeping deity, it's so poignant, isn't it? It really highlights the human cost of change in these remote areas. It makes you think about how traditional ways are coping or maybe struggling with modern pressures. Is it just economics or something deeper?
That's the question, isn't it? Now, for something completely different, if you're the kind of person who craves raw adventure, Turfan Valley. This is for the wild-hearted. Think sleeping in a tent right next to a river that's just roaring, hearing wolves howl, maybe, waking up to surprise snow.
Sounds intense.
It is. It's raw. It's rustic. Kind of romantic, actually, if your idea of romance includes maybe the occasional leech. And the big one, zero Wi-Fi. None. So you'll actually have to, talk to whoever you're traveling with. Gasp.
Huh. The forced digital detox. This speaks to a different kind of connection, doesn't it? Not just with nature, which is obvious, but with each other. Stripped of all the digital noise. Is that becoming more appealing, do you think?
I think maybe it is for some people. Then there's the Great Himalayan National Park, a UNESCO site. And honestly, you feel it. It feels untouched. Like even the wind is still figuring out the paths. You can hike for hours, see nothing but wildflowers, huge pines whispering, and just the silence makes your own heartbeat sound loud, almost arrogant.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
That places like this still exist, truly pristine nature. And it really underscores why preserving these areas is so, so crucial. It's a benchmark, a sanctuary.
Definitely. But just when you think Himachal is all mountains and monks, it throws you a curveball. Shimla, the old British summer capital. Charming, cool air, and apparently a haunted library.
Ah, yes, the Shimla tales.
People whisper about a British ghost maybe reading poetry aloud after dark, or the smell of cigar smoke in a locked room. Okay, maybe it's just old buildings creaking and bad insulation. Who knows? But even if the ghosts aren't real, the history there, that feels pretty haunting in its own way.
Well, exactly. Supernatural or not, that anecdote taps into the layers of history, especially the British colonial influence that's still so visible in Shimla. It's like the past is still breathing there, and the architecture, the stories, it adds another whole dimension. 3, the transformative power, people, and urgency.
So, okay, we've covered gods, glaciers, ghosts, vanishing villages. What does it all add up to? What's the real takeaway here? I think for me, and maybe for many people, the real magic isn't just the views, amazing as they are, it's the people.
The human element.
Yeah, the pahari way, they call it. A farmer stopping his work to offer you warm rajma, a grandmother insisting you wear a woolen cap because it looks a bit chilly. It's this simplicity, this generosity, a kind of wisdom that feels lost in busy city life. You really do come for the mountains, but you find yourself staying for the feelings, the connections.
That really gets to the heart of it. The true depth of a place often lies in that human connection, doesn't it? And the wisdom in these communities, it's about self-sufficiency, strong bonds, living with the rhythm of the land. It's a lived philosophy.
It really is. But there's also an urgent piece to this puzzle,
Yeah.
something we have to talk about. The Himalayas themselves, they're changing fast. Glaciers melting, erosion, what you see today. It might genuinely look different in 10 years. That's sobering.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And this raises an important question, a really critical one. How do we visit these places responsibly? It can't just be about ticking off sites, consuming the landscape. It needs to be more like a conversation with the earth itself.
Yeah.
And right now, that conversation feels pretty urgent. We need to listen and tread lightly.
Yeah, tread lightly. So if you feel that pull towards Himachal, maybe now's the time. See it, feel it responsibly. So what's it going to be? Another crowded beach somewhere? Or maybe a walk through this pine forest where the silence kind of wraps around you. If you've stuck with us this far, I'm guessing you're not just looking for a holiday. You're probably a bit of a seeker.
And perhaps the real deep dive here isn't just into Himachal's mountains and valleys, amazing as they are. Maybe it's about what those mountains show us about ourselves, our place in the world, especially on a planet that's changing, that's asking us to pay attention.
Something to think about. Okay, next time, we're heading further north again, into Kashmir. Think floating gardens, valleys draped in snow, and stories that feel like they're still waiting to be fully heard. Trust me on this one. The next deep dive, it's going to stay with you for a long time.